It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on, Joe!
Next question.
It is the Pregame Show. Joe Spadoni here with you for the next hour as we talk about, well, whatever you want to talk about. Could be Giants taking an L yesterday to the Boston Red Sox. 4-0 out in Beantown. Logan Webb's worst start of the year easily. Just lasted a couple innings there before Sean Jelly took over, but Red Sox strike first, score a run in each of the first 4 innings, and never look back as the Giants fall to 14-16 on the year. We can start with the game that a couple of our 95.7 The Game employees were at yesterday here in the Bay, Evan Giddings and Sam Lubman. How about those red-hot Oakland Athletics, baby? Oh, hey, we play it every time there's a win. They're not going to be playing this in Sacramento. Not even close. J.J. Bleday, 2 home runs. Mason Miller, just filthy. Closing the game, 3 straight strikeouts. Night-night, O'Neal Cruz. 5-2, the final against Pittsburgh. We celebrate good times. Hey, they're playing well. They are. They're playing well right now. I don't know how long this will last. I expect them to take a dive at some point, but I like their over. What was their over-under win total this year, Sam? And we wanted to sprinkle some cheddar on 58.5, something like that. They'll win 60 games, I think.
I mean, is 70 in reach?
Hey, I'm not mad at it. I think, what was it? Kotze was asked, he's like, hey, could this team win like 88? Could this be a 500 team? He's like, well, that'd be like a 30-game difference from last year to this year. Difficult, but not impossible.
I mean, the way they're playing right now, it's kind of hard to say no to that prospect.
We'll see. So the A's get the win.
Well last night, and that was without, Geloff and Ruiz.
That is true. And the Pirates are one of those teams where they could beat everybody, but they could also lose to everybody. They didn't look all that impressive against the Giants this past weekend. They couldn't get that timely hit. But the A's offense is the story. As well as their bullpen has been pitching, the offense has been carrying as of late. They don't have the greatest pitching. Do you see Alex Wood yesterday, Sammy? You say what's up to him? Or were you just as a fan?
And I let him do his thing yesterday.
Okay, there you go. Garlic fries and baseball, guys. New pod out? New pod? Yep.
Yeah, new pod up from yesterday.
Sweet. There you go. Sam Lubman and Joe Shasky talking all things San Francisco Giants on the year, on the season. Obviously, Sam had to sit down with Jordan Hicks, who's been kind of the star of that rotation outside of Logan Webb this season. So you want to check out that wherever you can grab your podcasts from. You can also hit me up here at 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text the Xfinity mobile text line. You can also hit us up on YouTube. We're streaming live on Twitch and YouTube every single day, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. through 7 p.m., starting with Spadoni, ending with Grandy. Just search 95.7 The Game on those platforms. Like, subscribe, all that. You can find amazing interviews like you saw yesterday with Nick Friedel, cousin Nick, who is our Odyssey's own. And he had some interesting thoughts on what the Warriors could do this offseason. William Dibbs also had Mike Trudell, Lakers sideline reporter, and Jermaine Wiggins. Yes, host at WEEI, former Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. Obviously had that amazing game in the Tuck Rule game once upon a time. We don't like talking about that around these parts. But he had some interesting thoughts on Brock Purdy, Tom Brady, and Brandon Ayuk with the Morning Roast yesterday. You can find that interview again. Download the Odyssey app, favorite 95.7 The Game, and take us wherever you want to go. And you know what? I think that'll lead us to this conversation right now. Oh, and by the way, I forgot another thing to plug. We're on Twitter. Streaming live on Twitter. Search 95.7 The Game on Twitter. You can find us there. Formerly Twitter, I should say. Now X. You can follow me at Spadoni_Joe. I'll give it a retweet right now. Why not? As I pull up some sound here from Nick Friedel, who joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday and had some interesting thoughts, as Cousin Nick always does, and one of the best voices in the business. When Mark Willard and Nick Friedel speak together, I don't think there is a deeper collection of voices that could be connected at once. I think we had a voice off once when Nick was doing some fill-in work with us, and he had to host with Mark, and they were just talking like this the whole time. Am I right, buddy? I'll give myself a 2 for that. My voice just doesn't go that deep. It's okay. Cousin Nick, he doesn't see the LeBron leaving the Lakers.
I don't see LeBron leaving L.A. I saw all the pomp and circumstance of that press conference last night. Oh, I'm not answering it. His career, wants to be in Los Angeles, wants to do stuff that is not just basketball. I don't think he's turning down $50 million or whatever it would be to re-up with the Lakers. That would really, really surprise me if he's not still in Los Angeles going forward, at least in the next year.
So Nick doesn't see it happening. He does not see it happening. What about LeBron James to the Golden State Warriors? Brian Windhorst, who's obviously been connected with LeBron James for a long time. And you're getting the picture here, folks, at 5:06 a.m. on the pregame show. It's going to be LeBron watch here in the Bay and elsewhere in America for as long as LeBron keeps this close to his vest, you know? This is going to be the discussion. Where's LeBron going? I mean, he's the biggest star in the sport the last 2 decades since Jordan. I mean, it's him, it's Kobe, it's Steph. Like, those are the guys. So what he does, and him playing at this level at 39 years old, and may very well be first team All-NBA, it matters where this guy's going. Because if he can come to the Warriors, I mean, talk about a huge story. Steph and LeBron playing not only in the Olympics together, but being legit teammates in the NBA. Yeah, that'd be a big freaking deal. Windhorst, though, he doesn't see it happening.
LeBron's contract for next year for the Lakers, if he opts in, calls for $51 million. Right. If he opts out, he is looking for contracts in that range. The Warriors have nothing like that. These other teams, like whatever you want to get on the board, whether you want to say team X, team Y, remember $50 million per year, multiple years the Lakers can give him. The idea of LeBron going to play for another team for $10 million, mid-level exception, or in the case of a tax-paying team, $6 million, even if you're going to cook up some scheme on a sign-and-trade contract, the Lakers would have to approve of that. Before you enter fantasy land, don't forget about the salary. The salary is important. I know LeBron's made a lot of money. He wants to buy an NBA team. You don't buy an NBA team leaving $50 million on the table.
And I think that last line is very important here. Oh, he cares about, winning another title. He wants to get that 5th, Ty Kobe and Tim Duncan and those guys, right? Magic have 6? 5? Kareem has 6, right? I got to Google it. But that matters to LeBron, right? And he's pretty much accomplished everything he wants to accomplish. Now, he's still playing at an elite level, so that's why he wants to keep playing. Like, it's one thing if, you're clearly taking a step back, you're old, it is what it is, it's time to hang out. He still has that itch. Guys like Kobe, Steph, LeBron, Michael Jordan, they have a competitive edge to them that few athletes have. And when that itch is still there, they're going to keep competing. Like, you heard it from MJ when it was time, that first iteration with the Bulls, and he's like, I'm done. He doesn't want to have that grind every single day. Same thing with Kobe. He got up one day, he's like, this isn't fun for me anymore. I don't want to have to get up and do this grind at 5 a.m. or however the hell early Kobe woke up, 4 a.m. to work out every single day. And when that time comes for Steph, I'm sure it'll be the same thing. LeBron still has that itch. And are the Lakers going to scratch that itch? We're going to find out. Could the Warriors possibly? Or could the Warriors look elsewhere? We keep talking about LeBron. He's the biggest name. But there's a guy that won 2 finals MVPs here that could potentially be for sale for the right price. I'm talking about Kevin Durant, cousin Nick Friedel. Odyssey Insider, NBA Insider. What do you think about that?
With Kevin, I mean, he's got 2 years left in Phoenix. If you're the Warriors and you say, okay, well, we know it can work and we know it can make it happen, I think that's where you call Phoenix up and you say, hey, you want a boatload of picks back and Kuminga? I mean, would that be something that would get both sides going? I don't know.
Which begs the question. Warriors fans, you trying to do a little reunion? Trying to get Kevin Durant back in a Golden State Warriors uniform? Now, that would be fascinating on a multitude of levels. What does that trade look like? Obviously, the guy you would want out of there, and I agree with Steiny on this, it's not Kevin Durant, it's not Bradley Beal. I would love Devin Booker. I just don't think Ishbia, the new Suns owner, is going to part with him. I mean, he's what, 27 years old, 28? That's not happening. But if you can get Kevin Durant back in a Golden State Warriors uniform, and if that takes a Kuminga, if that takes a Wiggins and some picks, maybe one of the young guys, maybe a Gary Payton, I don't know. I think you do that. Now, do the Suns, though? And does Kevin Durant sign off on something like that? Because I do think he has this say in that building to tell Ishbia, like, hey, man, I don't want to go back there. Find something else. To which maybe they just say kick rocks. I think of what Joe Tsai did out in Brooklyn, owner of the Brooklyn Nets, and he's just like, he waited for the right opportunity to rise. And when Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, those guys became available, hey, pull the trigger. But are Warriors fans willing to do that for Kevin Durant? You know, it's interesting. Sam Lubman, who I've just been plugging nonstop this morning, but he deserves it. He gave me a ride yesterday. I greatly appreciated that. Got this faulty ventilation hose or something in my car. Got it fixed. Thankfully, I thought it was going to be like something horrible. But that's one of the few reliefs you have when you have to spend like only a couple $100, but it's for car maintenance. It's like, at least it wasn't $1,000. At least it wasn't a whole new transmission or some crap like that. So shout out Sam Lubman for giving me a ride yesterday. But he said something in the show thread of the Morning Roast I found very interesting. And it was in regards to this Hoops Hype article. And Hoops Hype is just one of many websites that break down the NBA. But I thought it was interesting. It was the top 25 players under 25 in this season, this past season. This is by Frank Urbina. Didn't have Jonathan Kuminga on the list. Didn't have him on the list, which is kind of crazy to me because I think if you polled most NBA GMs right now, they would put Jonathan Kuminga in that top 25 under 25. I mean, Brandon Miller, really? He's shown you that much promise? Come on. Naz Reid, not mad at that. Jalen Green, okay. Keegan Murray, yes. Tyler Hero, that's one where it's iffy for me, but he's been a better basketball player in his career thus point than Jonathan Kuminga. By the way, he's only 23 still. I feel like Tyler Hero should be like 27, but I forget that he came out so young and he took the league by storm in that bubble run, and he was only, 19 years old? Got Jaime Jaquez. God, that was the pick this year. The Warriors got him somehow. Obviously, the Heat picked right before him, and they got Pajemski, so you're not too disappointed, but Jaquez, he might be that guy. He might just be. Got Anthony Simons there. All right. Jalen Williams, the Santa Clara Jalen Williams, not the Arkansas Jalen Williams, as Fitz likes to say. Then you got guys like Darius Garland, Jaren Jackson Jr. So there's some names there that I would say, I'm probably checking Jonathan Kuminga over there. But it begs the question, is Jonathan Kuminga going to be a second or third best player on a championship type of team for you? And if the thought process is championship now, within these next 2 years, well then, yeah, I'm going after Kevin Durant. But Spadoni, are the Warriors even good enough with Kevin Durant, given what we just saw in the playoffs last year? I mean, if Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant's not enough, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis isn't enough, is Steph, Dre. We'll see if Clay comes back. I don't know how that works with the finances if you're bringing on KD. But is Steph, Dre, KD enough? Well, here's what Nick Friedel had to say about that.
You really have to question, even if the Warriors got Kevin back in this scenario, are they good enough as currently constructed with the pieces they'd have to give up? Because Phoenix is certainly going to ask for Kuminga and all those picks, and undoubtedly more than that. Are they good enough to win? I mean, is that team at this stage better than Denver? Are they better? I mean, we see what Minnesota and Oklahoma City are doing. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them because Steph is still motivated. I know Kevin is still motivated. I was around that team plenty when he got there, and I saw him, of course, those last couple of years in Brooklyn. Draymond, when he's on the floor, wants to still win another ring. I just don't know if we're trying to break all this down, even if you got that big name, Mark, if it would make them get to the level that we're used to seeing them at.
And that's kind of the ultimate question right now, isn't it? With these old guys, do they got one last run in them? Whether it's LeBron, whether it's Steph, whether it's KD, right? I'm not sure. But I don't think the Warriors have time to do like a quick rebuild or retooling. If that means being kind of mediocre for a year or two, I mean, at that point, you're playing with fire because Steph's going to be touching near 40 years old. And he kind of looked like he took not a major step back, but a little shuffle back, a little quick moonwalk. He's still amazing. He's still elite. He's still the best shooter in the NBA, bar none. But even if you look at his three-point shooting statistics, I thought this was crazy. And I know this guy doesn't take the sheer number of volume of shots as Stephen Curry does, but LeBron James was a better three-point shooter this year than Steph. You're just going by the numbers. That's incredible. But that also speaks to the load that Stephen Curry has to carry night in and night out. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't, but Steph doesn't have that number two that LeBron has. KD would bring him that. That's a fact. But again, does KD want to come back here? The whole Draymond drama? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we've seen podcasts recently within the last couple of years. Oh yeah, me and KD are fine. Dre and I are cool. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. Can Steph, KD, and LeBron, can these guys carry a team anymore? See, I always thought that was kind of ridiculous to say Steph carried this team. LeBron carried. Like, there's been some instances like where LeBron legit has carried awful rosters to the NBA Finals. That's a thing. But they were never winning it. Like, LeBron didn't carry the Lakers to a title. I mean, it was him and Anthony Davis. Steph, it wasn't just Stephen Curry. It was Steph and Andrew Wiggins. Steph and KD. Steph and Clay. Michael and Scotty. Kobe and Shaq. Sensing a theme here? It's never just one guy. Dirk and Jason Terry. And Tyson Chandler. And Jason Kidd. Dwayne Wade and Shaq. Like, you can keep going. And I said Shaq. No, don't dump that. We're good. You can carry a team up to a certain point if you're one person and if you're an all-time great. Like, I'm looking at Joel Embiid and what he's been able to do, and Tyrese Maxey, by the way. My goodness. Did the Knicks blow their chance last night? We'll see. And by the way, I need to apologize. I need to apologize. I said the Bucks were done. I said Middleton has nothing left. I said he can't carry the team without Dame and Giannis. And you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong. Chris Middleton yesterday putting on a vintage performance. 29 points, not the greatest efficiency, but 4 of 7 from the beyond the arc and 12 boards and 5 assists. Yeah, that's going to get it done for the Bucks as they stave off elimination for another day. So Game 6 going back to Milwaukee, which, as we all know, is Algonquin for the good land. From the Xfinity mobile text line, 650. LeBrick only has 3 because of the bubble. That's fine. That's fine. Fantasyland. This guy probably reads comic books still. Sorry, graphic novels. 925, Lakers need to let LeBron go or trade him. Get younger and then sign another superstar down the line because that's what the Lakers do. Superstars always come to the Lakers eventually. That is true. I wouldn't be shocked if they added one with LeBron this year. You even hear whispers, I've been saying on these airwaves, they like Trae Young out of Atlanta. I don't know why. I think he is a fine volume scorer, but that's what he is. He is an undersized, no defense volume scorer. And when I look at the Lakers and what they were doing against the Denver Nuggets, I wasn't saying to myself, man, if only Trae Young was here. I mean, they would have beaten the Nuggets. No. Again, the Lakers were dominating that series at times until they had that 5-minute gap where they had a massive brain fart and it turned into a clown. It was like a pitcher with the yips. That's coaching. That's role players. That's everything. Trae Young's not changing that. But maybe Rob Pelinka and co are looking at life after LeBron, as you're alluding to on the Xfinity Mobile text line. A young player there. And that's why I'm looking at Jonathan Kuminga on this Warriors team. Are we willing to move off of him for a guy like Kevin Durant or LeBron James? I don't know. Brian Windhorst, last one from him on Get Up on if he believes Steph, KD, and LeBron can still carry a team.
Steph played great. He's going to make the All-NBA team. Yeah. KD played great. By the way, most games KD's played since he tore his Achilles. Mm-hmm. LeBron played great. All three of those guys are going to be on the on the All-NBA team. That means that they're one of the best 15 guys in the league. All three of their teams are gone. So what do we take from that? What does that teach us? It teaches us that they're not good enough anymore to carry their teams by themselves. Yep. That's now guys like Jokic. That's now guys like Doncic. That's now potentially guys like Ant Edwards.
I'm having trouble with this one because, as he just alluded to, Brian Windhorst on Get Up on ESPN yesterday, Steph, LeBron, and KD are still really freaking good. They're so good still. Yes, they need help. I just went down the line of everyone that needs help to win a title. But just having those two guys isn't enough. You need the depth and pieces around it, and that's where drafting matters, and that's where hitting on certain individuals in free agency matters. Lakers do that every single year. They do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Whether it's a D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, re-signing him, bringing along a Gabe Vincent who was hurt for most of the year, Jared Vanderbilt, who again acquired via trade. They try to revamp and retool constantly. The Warriors last year, moving on from Jordan Poole, bringing in Chris Paul. I thought that was a net positive for the Golden State Warriors this year. Were they a second-round team like last year? No, they were not. Many factors play into that, but that was one of them. No Jordan Poole, who wasn't amazing last season for the Golden State Warriors, or 2 seasons ago, I guess I should say now. But he helped you out, scoring the ball. Chris Paul can be a scorer, but that's not really his forte. Floor general, he's a pure point guard, one of the greatest to ever do it. And he was invaluable, I thought, as a leader on and off the court for this young Warriors squad. Kumingas, the Pajemskis, the Trace Jackson Davises. Hell, even a guy like Andrew Wiggins. What's that guy going to be? What are you doing with Wiggins? I think he's got to be the trade piece, too. If you're going out to get someone else, you got to attach him there. Be like, hey, can you guys take Wiggins? So you're looking at potentially a Kuminga and Wiggins trade package with a couple of picks attached to it. Is that enough to entice a team like the Phoenix Suns, who, again, don't have a pick all the way up through 2030? They don't have a first-round pick. It's pretty incredible. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all you lovely people on the app formerly called Twitter. We are streaming there on YouTube. If you're listening to us in the car, good morning to all of you. Be safe driving out there. If you're listening on the Odyssey app, let me know where you're listening from. 888-957-9570. We're worldwide here. We might be global. We might be on the space station. I need to check in with my sources there at the space station. I got people. I got sources in space. But let me know where you're calling from, where you're listening from. 888-957-9570. I appreciate that. I walked into the building this morning, by the way, real quick before we hit our first break. And we're talking, it's LeBron watch here this morning. It's LeBron watch at 95.7 The Game. It's LeBron watch everywhere else. What's he going to do? What are the Warriors going to do? Do you want this guy? Does LeBron even want to leave? That's what we're talking about this morning at 888-957-9570. And what are you willing to do to get a guy like LeBron? Get a guy like Kevin Durant? Or are you saying, you know what? You got to take your lumps and you got to get younger and go with the draft picks and see if you can build this thing back up. And maybe, just maybe, you got enough of Steph in a year or two to have one last run. Maybe that's how you feel. 888-957-9570. But I walked into the building this morning and there was just a huge balloon arch over our Odyssey sign when you walk in. And it's like, oh, Fiesta. I see like a chihuahua. I see like a little chili pepper. I was like, it's May 1st. What are we doing here? Cinco de Mayo. Is that a Sunday? Is that Saturday? What day is that? Let's see here. Pull up my map. I don't even know what day is it? Oh, it's a Wednesday. It's Sunday. We're having a fiesta here at the building. So, begs the question. What's your go-to Mexican order, man? And maybe this is premature. Maybe I should do this Friday, but I'm craving it right now. I need to know it. To all my Mexican listeners out there, my Mexican listeners, Mexicano, Mexicana. This is 12 years of Spanish speaking right here, all right? At least in class, not every single day with other people. But I aced all those tests. What's the go-to? And I want, you can be authentic. It could be, you know what? I'm not going Taco Bell here, but if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. I'm not saying that's authentic. I'm not saying that. But every now and then, I also, at 2 a.m., am craving an enchilito. All right? I'm just sad they got rid of the salsa verde. That stuff slapped. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Sam's nodding his head. I want to know what Sam's Mexican go-to is. I want to know what yours is. 888-957-9570. Because apparently we're having a fiesta today. We'll see. And it's always a fiesta on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. More LeBron talk, more Steph talk, more Warriors talk, and what Jermaine Wiggins, Super Bowl champion, tight end with the New England Patriots, WEEI host out in Boston, our sister station and Odyssey station, what he had to say in regards to Brock Purdy. Thought it was very interesting. We'll discuss that on the other side on the pregame show, 95.7 The Game.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring,
The Game.
Was there any thought at all that this could have been your last game with the Lakers? I'm not going to answer that. Appreciate it.
Welcome back. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. We're rolling. One segment down, two more to go before I hand it off to the Morning Roast, who has Ricky Pearsall. Yes. First round pick of the San Francisco 49ers in the 2024 NFL Draft, wide receiver by way of Arizona State and Florida, joining the guys at 8:30. So Ricky Pearsall going to be appointment radio, get to know the current and future of the the Golden State Warriors. The San Francisco 49ers, Ricky Pearsall, 8:30. What is the future of the Golden State Warriors? It's kind of what we've been talking about all morning in regards to names they could be after this offseason. Are they going to go after LeBron? Well, who isn't if he opts out of his contract, which is the expectation around the league that he'll opt out. But many in the know, whether it's Shams, whether it's Windhorst, whether it's our guy Nicky Friedel, Odyssey Insider, they seem to think that he is coming back. Joe Shasky in the building. And I teased the question I asked all of you because I walked in this morning and there was just a Fiesta decorations everywhere. I was like, well, hey, let's Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. Sure. I don't even think they celebrate this date of Mexican independence from France. I don't even think they celebrate this date in Mexico. It's a whole nother thing, a whole other celebration. But sure, why not? What's our go-to Mexican order? I asked Joe Shasky. He says a carne asada burrito. Super, of course. You always got to go super. I mean, are we skimping on the sour cream and guacamole? Hell no. Never. Go with a hot sauce on there. The salsa verde, I'm not mad at it. Sam Lemon, same thing, but carnitas. Shredded pork, I'm not mad at it. 510 on the Xfinity mobile text on the best burritos in San Francisco. La Taqueria on Mission, Oakland. Guadalajara on Fruitvale. I like Guadalajara. That's right near the Fruitvale station. Used to order from them a bunch. They got fat burritos there, which I respect. What the Bay Area has in abundance, whether it's San Francisco on the Mission, if you're down on down the Fruitvale area in Oakland, oh, they got burritos for days. And I will put NorCal's burritos up there with anyone, including Mexico. Just like I'll put New York pizza even ahead of Italian, which people say it's sacrilege. It's different, though. It's different. And yes, I'm loyal to the soil, baby. Loyal to the soil. There you go. 415, excuse me. Cinco de Mayo is a battle anniversary, not independence. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, the more you know. I'm looking it up right now. It's a yearly celebration to celebrate Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla. I feel like I do this every single year. I'm sorry. I misspoke. There you go. The more you know. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. Just like I threw Chris Middleton under the bus on yesterday's show and said he's done and the Bucks are done and it was night-night. And he goes out, has a hell of a performance. And the Bucks stave off elimination for another day. They might still be done. We'll see. But for yesterday, Chris Middleton, he was very good. So was Tyrese Maxey. Are you kidding me yesterday? I think the Knicks might have... they're playing with fire here. We'll see. Everyone's kind of crowning the Knicks. I heard Bonte saying, I think this team can go to the finals. Can they get out of the first round first? Can they? Let's wait and see there. Let's wait and see. All right. 888-957-9570. Go to Mexican order. Plus, if you could choose between these two, Warriors fans, and I think I know the answer, but would you choose LeBron or KD if one of them if both of them are available and you can get one of them? There's a lot of hypotheticals in there, but you know what? This is the Warriors offseason. It's going to be hypotheticals galore. Because Lord knows I'm not talking about that Red Sox-Giants game yesterday. Logan Webb, it's his first bad start. Don't worry about it. He's going to be fine. Giants bats, though, yeah, that's a little bit concerning. A little bit. I mean, you're paying Matt Chapman this money. You're paying Soler. They're not hitting very well. Tyro Estrada, selfishly, I need him to get on base. I need some stolen bases, buddy. He's like my sole giant on my fantasy squad, which is not doing too great right now. From the Xfinity mobile text line, 415. No worries. Love you, Spadoni. I love you too, bro. 510. Okay. A cheese quesadilla, classic. Or a chili relleno? Double L is yeah, right? How do you not know that, big dog? Hey, dude, come on, guys. You're killing me. Wrong again. 925. They're going to Indiana for game 6. Pacers, Bucks. Oh, did I misspeak? Did I say they're going back to Milwaukee? I'm sorry. I'm not locked in on Tyrese Halliburton's whereabouts. I did hear the fan yesterday going absolutely crazy. There was like a couple of fans behind the TNT broadcast just going nuts at Tyrese Halliburton and all the players of the Pacers. I do like a live mic getting caught with the fans, but when it's like goes on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, like, all right, you need to relax. Just like at a baseball game when you can hear in the background, sometimes it's funny, and then it gets to be distracting a little bit. Just a little bit. From Stephen A. Smith, I thought this was an interesting comment. I want to play this. This was Stephen A. yesterday talking about Stephen Curry's legacy and it being different because he stayed in Golden State. Take a listen.
Yeah, no one player does it by himself. Yes, Scottie Pippen, we heard you. We know you helped Michael Jordan. You're one of the all-time great 50 players. We know Scottie Pippen. We know. Okay, we know that. But Jordan was on another level, and the will and the defiance came with it. So the effect he had on a culture is what we really, really are complimentary about with Michael Jordan. See, we don't say that enough, but it's the truth. Why do I bring that up? Because that's not what LeBron James did. That's not what Kevin Durant did. So when we talk about how great they were as players, well, LeBron had to go to Miami to get the title. And then LeBron went back to Cleveland and had to get Kyrie and join Kyrie and get Kevin Love from Minnesota in order to win in Cleveland. And LeBron had to get AD to get to LA before he won the title in LA. Jordan stayed. Steph Curry stayed. They built around Jordan. They built around Steph Curry. That wasn't the case with LeBron and KD. And so we have to look at those situations differently. We can lump them all into the sentence for a question. But their careers, I'm sorry, it's a travel. The way it's traveled was different than the three. Some better, some worse than others.
Okay. I always thought this is an interesting conversation. We can pick it up on the other side as well. The notion of staying in one place for your entire career, it's very rare now, and it's special, and we love it. But I think what LeBron James has done is equally as impressive had he just stayed in one location. Now I'm going to explain that on the other side. 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. One more segment before handing it off to the morning roast. More of your calls, more of your texts on 95.7 The Game.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit HCM Real Talk.
Happy hump day, people. Happy hump day.
It is hump day. Good morning to all you lovely people. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. 2 segments down, I should say. One more to go. Fontaine Shasky lurking. Previewing their show right now on the back. They got Ricky Pearsall joining them today. First round pick of your San Francisco 49ers joining the morning roast, 8:30. You're not going to want to miss that. Get to know Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver out of Florida. Also had some time as a Sun Devil out of Arizona State. Was teammates with Brandon Ayuk. And what's it going to be like playing for Kyle Shanahan in this offense? You got Christian McCaffrey. You got Brock Purdy, who Pearsall played against when he was in high school. So very fun to get to know Ricky Pearsall coming up at 8:30 with the boys. You're not going to want to miss that. Download the Odyssey app. You can listen to it there. You can find us on X, formerly called Twitter. Search 95.7 The Game there. Like, subscribe. You can also follow me. I retweeted it at Spadoni_Joe. You can find me there. Or you can watch us on YouTube or Twitch, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Before the break, we were discussing Stephen Curry, and his legacy is different, like Michael Jordan's, like Kobe Bryant's, because they instilled a tone within an organization. They set a standard within their organizations. And we'll just stick to the Bulls, Michael Jordan, and not to the Wizards, although he was good on the Wizards. We'll keep it to that. And it's different than guys like Kevin Durant and LeBron James. It is different. And do you view guys like Kobe, MJ, Steph, do you put them above those guys because of their willingness to stay with one team? Because they set a tone, a standard within their organizations? Do you scoff at guys like LeBron or KD or Kyrie moving from this place to that? We call them the mercenaries, right? The hired guns. I struggle with this one because there is part of me that really respects what Steph, MJ, and Kobe did. And not like those guys were perfect either. Although Steph's pretty close to perfect in comparison to those guys too. There's problems about those guys. Like Michael Jordan, he need to retire from basketball for a season. Played some baseball. You know what the guy was doing. Then he came back, and there's all different kind of stories and what people tell you during there. We obviously know what went down with Kobe Bryant. He almost forced his way out a couple times. He stayed, though. 2 different numbers, 2 different iterations, 8 and 24. And now Steph. He's been there. And he's had some lumps in his career. The Warriors have. Then he got back to the mountaintop, and they won. And now it's looking like getting back there is going to be the greatest challenge of his career. Getting back to an NBA Finals is going to be the greatest challenge at this point of Steph's career that he's ever had to face. More so than winning that 4th title, more so than getting the redemption after 2016, more so than getting the first title. This task that Stephen Curry is on right now is the most difficult one in his career. I don't think that's a hot take. But the fact that he stayed with this one team does, when it's all said and done, affect his legacy in a positive way. I just don't like that we're looking at guys like Kevin Durant, like LeBron James, and we're knocking them down a peg because they didn't stick with one team. Yeah, he left Cleveland. I would leave Cleveland if I had the opportunity to go to Miami. Like, come on, get real. Oh, he wasn't loyal. Oh, Steph stayed. Kobe stayed. Michael Jordan stayed. Yeah, well, LeBron didn't. Because his owner didn't put the pieces around him, because the GM didn't put the pieces around him. He dragged teams to the finals. They had no chance. against San Antonio. Just no chance. So he goes to Miami, proves his worth, goes to 10 straight finals, whatever it was, wins a couple there, goes back to the Cavs, wins one there in a city that hasn't won anything in my entire life. Oh, yeah, he just wins it against one of the greatest teams and one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen in the Golden State Warriors. Won 73 games that year. And yeah, 3-1, stepping over LeBron, Kiki Vanaway, okay, whatever. Still won there. And then when the time was up, when he brought that team to multiple finals, he went elsewhere, to Los Angeles. Because that's what stars do. That's what Kareem does. Pau Gasol, Shaq. The names go on and on and on. If you want to win a title and if you want to help your brand, you go there. Hell, it doesn't always work out. Steve Nash on line one. Hey, Chris Paul was a Laker for a second. Dwight Howard ended up getting a ring there. Oh, but it was the bubble chip. What did LeBron do? He won a title. Brought Anthony Davis over. Now, has it been as fruitful as other destinations? No, it has not. But when it's all said and done, he brought a banner to Los Angeles, another one to Cleveland, and 2 to Miami. And we're talking about setting a standard within an organization. LeBron lets his play on the court do all the talking, just like Steph does. Steph is not the most vocal guy off the court, but I saw this season with Stephen Curry more emotion on the court than I've ever seen. I mean, so much so where the guy was crying. Tears were in his eyes seeing Draymond get ejected in that Magic game in Orlando. He feels it. The intensity, the burden of being a star player on a team that might be fading away. And again, I'm saying this, and the Warriors won, 46 games? Like, they're not bad. That's the thing. But the West is so good in comparison that we look at teams like the Warriors, the Lakers, the Suns, who, again, did not have bad seasons in a vacuum, but they're just not on the level of some of these other teams. And those teams are led by young, dynamic superstars. And it's tough. So I started this conversation just talking about, sticking with one team as opposed to bouncing around. And the teams that have stuck together thus far, the Jokic's and Murray's together, both, being in Denver together this long, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and then you're going to Oklahoma City. They're kind of the young guns here, but all drafted or traded for, and the Shea trade was massive. But you look at Holmgren, Giddey, Jalen Williams, and then the Shea one just brought it all together. That's why these conversations are so difficult right now for these individual squads that think they could just run it back. I don't know if they can do that. I just don't know. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity mobile text line. 408. I wouldn't knock the free agent mercenaries for the reasons you're stating, but the loyalty storyline is just more pleasant to hear. I understand. It makes for a Disney movie, right? Oh, they stayed there the whole time. It's like, I was just watching Cars recently. It's, was it the King, they called him? The Dynaco guy, the blue car in the very first one. He set like a standard. He was loyal there. And at the very end, they offered Lightning McQueen the job because he helped push the King past the race after he had a car accident. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Cars, by the way. But he helped do that. Maybe we do Disney with Dad today, and that's the movie, Sammy, Cars. That's a good one. And then they offered the Dynaco guy, the lead guy, he's like, hey, you want to come join our brand? Lightning McQueen, do you want to come join us, Lightning? And he's like, no, you know what? I have this Rusty's brand. I'm sticking there. I'm going to be loyal to these guys because they always believed in me. But that's not for everyone. So listen, we all have our own lives, our own paths and stuff like that. And for LeBron, I think he needed to go to Miami. And I think if he stayed in Cleveland, I don't know if we view him the same as his legacy elsewhere. The fact that he has won and has been finals MVP in 3 different locations all across America, I think that elevates him. I really do. Just like the same way it elevates Steph because he stayed with one team. I think I look at them and it's the same. They're equal to me. There's just different ways. What is it the saying? There's multiple ways to skin a cat. I hate that saying, by the way. It's just gross. Who's skinning cats? Yeah, gross. From Nick Friedel, finally, as we wrap up this conversation. We're talking about KD. We're talking about LeBron. Would bad blood between Kevin Durant and Golden State Warriors hinder a reunion between the two parties? Again, Nick Friedel joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday. Odyssey NBA insider, formerly of ESPN, formerly covering the Warriors. He knows the ins and outs of this dynasty and of the Kevin Durant years. Here's what he had to say about the bad blood between KD and Golden State, potentially.
Those guys are all really smart. Draymond and Kevin and Steve Kerr and Steph. They know basketball-wise what being together represents. And what we saw out there in the Bay for those 3 years is greatness. I mean, that is what it is. So there are so many different dominoes in play here, and that's part of the fun of what we do in these conversations. But do I think that some meeting of the minds and rekindling of the professional relationship could happen down the line? I do think it's possible. I don't think that everything was torched so bad at the end there that everybody couldn't sit in the room and say, hey, let's give this one more chance. They all know what it means to be together on the floor, and they all know what they accomplished when they were together and everybody was locked in.
That would be pretty sick, though. Kevin Durant coming back to the Warriors. That'd just be poetic. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I mean, we're just talking about sports endings and Disney moves and stuff like that. I mean, wouldn't that be a great redemption arc? Not that Kevin Durant needs redemption, by the way. Again, this whole notion that he is hated by Warriors fans, like Warriors fans that hate on Kevin Durant are delusional, first of all. I wouldn't consider them Warriors fans. Guy won so much here. He's 2-time finals MVP. Please, miss me with that crap. I'm actually rooting for KD to come back here now, shut all those people up. And I'm sure those people that we're hating are desperate for Kevin Durant now. Let's just say that. You know what else I'm desperate for? To hear from Ricky Pearsall at 8:30 with Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, the new 49ers wide receiver drafted 31st overall in the 2024 NFL Draft. Have a good morning, everybody.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports.